The September 17th, 2018 meeting of Human Services will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Conley? Here. Mrs. Draw? Here. Ms. Harris? Here. Mr. Hebert? Here. Mr. Lightfoot? Here. Mr. Moyo? Here. Ms. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Wilt?
Here.
Chairman Zale is excused. Dr. Carbone?
Here.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Being none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the August 28th, 2018 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 18-0264.
Moved by Legislator Conley, seconded by Legislator Hebert. Is there any discussion? Legislator Lightfoot.
Excuse me. Through the chair, to the administration regarding the $85,000 that we would like to take in here. The question becomes, will we be amending the budget to add $40,000 for the 2018, and then will we be using the remainder for the 2019? To you, Mrs. Chairman, to the administration.
Through the chair, actually, no, not exactly with this particular type of grant, although the question would be more applicable if this were a multi-year grant. The reality is the medical examiner's budget already contemplated approximately $45,000 in aid to crime labs, so the budget only has to be amended for the incremental amount.
And so, through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, the increment amount will go totally to the 2018 budget?
That is correct, Madam Chair. When this grant runs across the calendar year, therefore, the unexpended funds associated with this grant as of December 31st of 2018 will roll forward into 2019 and modify the 2019 budget.
Okay, so great. That's basically what we're saying. We're saying that the money that we set aside are already allotted for this 2018. We will bring in, it'll cover that cost, and then whatever additional funds are left will bleed into the 2019, and then will be subtracted from that fund. So, in addition with that, through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, those $42,000 or odd dollars that were allocated in the budget for 2018, what will we be doing with those funds?
Madam Chair, just to clarify, since the question was raised before, the Office of the Medical Examiner is free to spend all $85,000 within the remainder of calendar year 2018. If they do not, however, the unexpended portion, whatever dollar amount that may be, will roll into 2019. In totality, the grant is to provide funding to enhance the capacity of the local crime labs to process evidence that has been submitted, maintain quality control programs, including the funding of a quality control supervisor, and the general improvement in the scope of services that the ME's office is able to offer.
So to answer the question is that you, Madam Chair, is going to roll over?
Madam Chair, if there are any dollars under this grant that are unexpended at December 31st of 2018, those unexpended dollars will roll over.
Thank you.
Legislator Conley?
Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration, what is the current backlog at the Tox Lab, and what is the anticipated impact this grant will have on reducing that backlog?
Through the chair, we'd be happy to provide you a response on that in writing before the legislative committee or legislative meeting.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 18-0265.
Moved by Legislator Hebert, seconded by President Carbone. Is there any discussion? Yes, Legislator Harris.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To the Chair, to the Administration, I'd like to know, was for this contract, hearing aid works audiology, are they the sole respondent to the RFP?
Through the chair, yes, but this was the only respondent.
Thank you. Through the Chair to the Administration, is this a new contract? And if so, has this service been provided before? I'm asking two questions. Let me rephrase it. Through the Chair to the Administration, is this a new contract? And how was this service provided prior to having this contract?
Through the chair, yes, this is a new contract. The service was previously provided through our affiliation agreement with the University of Rochester, and they no longer provide audiological services.
Thank you.
Yes, President Carbone.
How many people do you expect will be receiving these services?
No, I would estimate perhaps 20% of our resident population, which would equate to 100 people or so.
Thank you.
Legislator Conley?
Thank you. Through the chair, it looks like this contract changed the years. The contract is from October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2018. Can someone explain why we're authorizing this contract essentially after the terms of the contract?
Through the chair, we have dated the contract as such on the recommendation of the law department. The reason for that is because when we obtained audiological services through the University of Rochester, as I mentioned earlier, it was part of the affiliation agreement. So there was no line item specific amount for audiology in the agreement. And when we entered into the contract with this company, the original contract estimate was less than $20,000, and it was purely an estimate because we had no historical basis upon which to make an estimate. And as it turned out, the expenses are going to exceed the $20,000, and so at the suggestion of the law department, we have requested that the contract be approved for $35,000 with 3 one-year renewals not to exceed the same amount.
Thank you.
Yes, Legislator Hebert.
Through the chair, has the county contracted with Hearing Aid Works before this particular term?
Through the chair, I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know.
Through the chair, how have they been doing since they've been up and running for about 11 months?
They've done a respectable job and have provided the service as needed.
Finally, through the chair, where will these services be offered? Are they on site at the hospital or someplace else?
Through the chair, they can be a combination of locations. Primarily, the screenings and so forth are provided through our clinic on site. Occasionally, someone may have to go to the offices of the audiologist.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the September 17th, 2018 meeting of the Human Services Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Human Services Committee will be on Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018 at 5:30 p.m.